Hi, I'm Maria from SuperQ, and today I want to talk to you about standing. The way that we stand can affect our balance, our strength, our self-confidence, and it can also help reduce wear and tear on your joints and pain and tension in your muscles. So what we want to do is start from the bottom. We're going to start with your feet. Now, as people age, or if they feel vulnerable, they have a tendency to stand with their feet quite close together. This doesn't give you a very good base. It's very easy to lose your balance in this position. So what we want to do is we want to start off with a good base and take the feet a little bit wider apart so that your feet are directly below your knees and your hips. So we really want to have all your key joints aligned, your ankles, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders. This is going to make you feel the strongest and most stable. So your hips are not out here. We want the ankles below the hip joints. It's actually quite narrow, okay? Now, when you are moving around, so say that you're in your kitchen and you're turning and moving around, what you'll do then is you will stand with your feet possibly wider apart and your toes turned out, which is going to allow you to move from side to side. But for this purpose, it's about standing. If we were standing still, possibly doing some of the exercises in our SuperQ routines, maybe you are standing in a queue or you're watching sports, watching your grandchildren playing out on the sports field. So then what we want to do, feet straight, hip width apart, feet directly below the hips. Now, next thing, the toes. We don't need to hold on to the earth with our toes. Just relax your toes and sink into the soles of your feet. Think about your weight coming down into your feet to help you stay grounded. We're going to move up now to the knees. So we have this obsession about when we're standing that we need to stand straight and tall, and when we think straight and tall, we tend to lock the knees. So if I'm just going to stand on the side here, straight and tall, locking the knees. Now, that we really want to avoid that, because what that's doing is creating extra pressure on your joints, and it's creating muscle imbalances, which is going to pull your joints out of alignment. We want to have soft knees all the time. I want you to try this little exercise. I'm going to stand on the side so you can see. So I want you to lock your knees. So push your knees back, and you're going to feel that the muscles in the back of your legs are lengthened and under tension. When the muscles at the back are lengthened under tension, that means the muscles in the front are shortened. And what that does is it creates that little pinch in the front of your knees. Maybe it's not painful, but you can feel a little squeeze through the knees. So what this is doing is muscle imbalance. These muscles should be even, but they're not. They're long in the back and they're short in the front. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull your knee joints out of alignment. It's also going to affect your hips and your ankles. So what we're going to do is we're going to soften the knees. Just that little bit. So take it from lock, and it's just a slight softness. So now you're going to feel that the muscles feel more even at the front and the back. You might feel a little bit more wobbly, but that's okay. That's the muscles working to keep you balanced. So those muscles crossing your joints, particularly those key joints of your knees and your hips, are working to keep you in balance. And that's what we want them to do, because if you lock your knees, what we're actually doing is we're relying on our bones to hold us up. Our muscles don't have to do anything. They're in a locked position. And what that's doing is it's, again, creating extra wear and tear on the knee joints, but it's also allowing those leg muscles to be really lazy. And so when you need them, when you have that stumble or when you're walking downstairs, they're not ready to respond and they're not going to be strong. So we want to get into the habit of always having soft knees. And it's not a big slouch, it's just taking them off lock. So I want you to try that, okay? So just that, straighten and then soften. Now, the other thing that happens with us locking our knees is it tends to tip your hips forward. And so what you'll see is that I get a little extra tension in my lower back, it pushes your tummy out and it pushes your butt out. So it sort of deactivates these muscles and creates extra pressure here and possibly in the front of your hips as well. So softening your knees is going to help a little bit. But the next step is we want to activate that tummy muscle, those deep core muscles, to take a little bit more pressure off the back and to support your spine. So what we want to do is just draw that belly button in a little to the spine. And you'll feel your hips scoop slightly under. I'll take it on the side again, it's a little tuck under. So as I tuck those hips under, it's a lot easier to do if my knees are soft, and it takes more pressure off my lower back. But it's doing a lot more than that as well. It's actually activating my glutes, my butt cheeks a little bit, and they're helping support my upper body and taking some weight off my hips, my knees, and my ankles. Just to make that a little bit clearer for you, we're going to do another little exercise. What I want you to do is I want you to contract your butt cheeks together really tightly, okay? Drawing them together like you're trying to prevent a fart, okay? So you should feel these muscles right at the top here. If you have your fingers on those muscles, if you contract, you should feel those muscles pushing out towards your fingers. If you're doing that, what should happen, particularly if you've got soft knees, is you can feel that it drives your hips forward and slightly outward. Your knees push slightly forward and slightly outward. And it changes the muscle tension all the way down the outside and the inside of your legs, bringing it right back into alignment. Also, it's really lifting up your upper body, because now, try it. Relax your butt, and you feel all that weight sinking down into your feet. So that's going to add extra weight and pressure on those ankles, those knees, hips, and lower back. Now, I don't want you to go around squeezing your butt cheeks tightly all day, okay? That's not what we want. But I want you to be aware of using them halfway to support you all the time. So if you're thinking about it, soft knees, tuck the tummy in. It's a little butt cheek squeeze to scoop those hips under. Okay? You can feel the difference it makes. Let it go, feel the weight come down, little tuck of the tummy, and the hips tuck under, the butt cheeks are working, the tummy tucks in. You look a lot better, and it also, those tummy muscles are supporting your spine and holding you up. Your butt muscles are supporting your torso and taking the weight off those ankles, knees, and hips. We're not done yet. So we're also going to look at the alignment on the side of your rib cage. So what we can sometimes will see is we will see people with their hips forward. We want the rib cage stacked over the hips, okay? But what we might see is the bottom pushed out with the rib cage forward, creating tension in the lower back. Or we'll see the rib cage back behind the hips, where we're, again, creating tension in the lower back, and quite often up in the neck and shoulders as well. So we want that rib cage stacked over the hips. That's where you're going to be your strongest, okay? So we want alignment this way, and we want alignment this way. And that's where you're going to be your strongest. So another little exercise to help you become a bit more aware of your core engagement and how you're standing, but particularly using those tummy muscles, is I want you to visualize that you're holding a tall glass of water inside your belly. So first of all, you've got to draw your tummy in a little bit so that you don't push that glass of water off. So a little tuck of the tummy. Then it's that little tuck under of the hips. So we're holding the bottom of the glass, and then we're going to look at this rib cage area here, and we're going to move that rib cage down. So it's going to put the lid on the glass. That's going to help you keep those hips and the rib cage aligned and help you engage the core. So if that's useful for you, try thinking of that, holding the glass, okay? And in subsequent, in our workouts and routines, the faster that you move, the heavier weights that you do, the more you hold your glass, because you don't want to spill the water. So if we're moving around fast, we hold more tightly into your glass. So one more part to go. Because there's basically 3 key areas that we want to focus on in posture, and it's because of the way that our lifestyles, we have stopped using these muscles effectively. And you can describe them as your core muscles, but I'd like to describe them as your mid-back, your belly, and your butt. So we've talked about the butt, and we've talked about the belly. So let's talk about the mid-back. So if you take your hand, the back of your hand, and place it on the rib cage in your back. So this is your shoulder blades up here. We don't want it that high. We want it a little bit lower down here. And I want you to, if you can't reach that high, that's fine, just drop it down a little bit. And I want you to slouch. So you may have felt those muscles lengthen at the back of your hand. Now I want you to lift your chin and chest and feel those muscles behind your hand contract. Those are the muscles that are actually pulling you up. Let's just try it again, okay? So slouch, lift your chin and chest, feel that it's these muscles right here that are pulling you up. They're so important, particularly as you age, because as we age, we tend to come more and more down like this, and we're getting weaker and weaker in these mid-back muscles. So the cue, or the direction, the instruction to help you improve that is just take your chin and chest up, and you'll feel that mid-back engage. What that also does is your shoulders will tip back and down, and that's where we want them. We want those shoulders relaxed. We don't want them up here. We don't want them forward. But rather than thinking shoulders back and down, just lift your chest upward and forward. And that will engage the back and take the shoulders back and down. Now, that is so much to think about. I realize that. So let's just put it all together and in a simple way. So first of all, feet straight, hip width apart, so you've got a base, or wider if you're being more active. Soft knees, so you've got suspension and that those leg muscles are working and that you're reducing pain, reducing wear and tear on your knee joints. Soft knees, and then just go chest up and then hold your glass. So this part goes up and this part tucks. And have a think about it. We should have a bit of balance between the mid-back, the belly, and the butt. We don't want any one of those three areas to be working in isolation. If we did, if we're thinking mid-back, we'd be standing like this, which doesn't look any good. If we're thinking just our core, our bellies, we would be standing like that. If we're thinking just butt, we would be standing like that. And what we want to do is we want to retain what's called a neutral spine. It's just that little curve in the spine. So chin and chest up, hold your glass, soft knees. You should still have that little curve in your spine. Everything should feel aligned and effortless, but your muscles are working gently, so they're working, they're getting stronger, and they're holding you in a really good position to just be standing or in preparation for movement. So when you're moving into your SuperQ exercises, or when you're moving through your life and you're standing there, start thinking about these principles. Practice them. Go through this tutorial again and play around with it. It's so important and can make such a difference to your pain management, to your sense of balance. And that'll affect your self-confidence and your sense of well-being. So really, really important. Take the time. Let us know how you go.